Last week for Mousetrap Monday, I featured this trap. It's a live catch box trap. It's a really simple design and it's been used in Finland for hundreds of years. I saw this mousetrap on a blog post. I'll put the title there and a link in the description below. And on that particular blog post, the author listed 3 different traps that traditionally have been used in Finland. This was the only live catch design. He also listed 2 deadfall style traps, and in this video we're going to make that and then go test it out. What I have here is a piece of barnwood and a piece of firewood that I got off the pile. I'm going to use this as the top piece and cut the barnwood to length, and then we're going to set it up and make the trap. So first thing I'm going to do is take a handsaw and cut this lower board the same length as our top deadfall. The next thing I need to do is cut 2 notches on the top of this deadfall board. Now that we have our top board and our bottom board all cut, it's going to work like this. That's going to be really effective. We just need to set up the trigger system, but first we need to drill a hole through the back. To do that, I'm going to use an old-fashioned hand drill. For the cross piece here, I'm using a sapling of hazelnut wood. I'm using that because it's flexible but pretty sturdy. So I'll just cut this off. We'll also cut off a piece for the back post. In the back we have the hole we drilled. I'm just going to insert a piece of our hazelnut stick. It fits pretty snug. That's going to serve as an anchor for our deadfall board on top. It can go up and down, but it won't go side to side or front to back. It'll make a really effective trap that's solid. Now let's make the archway in the front for our trigger system. It's fairly difficult to find a stick that will bend this much without breaking. Usually it wants to crack on the top like this, but I did find one, so what I'm going to do is drill 2 holes on either side, put the base of this arch in here, and then install it so it will hold up our top piece. Now that we have the holes drilled, we have our wooden arch here. I'm just going to put the ends in, carefully bend it so it doesn't snap, secure that into place. Now we have the arch piece to hold our trigger. We can lift up this top board. You can see kind of how that works. Now we just need to make the trigger system. The trigger consists of a long flat piece of wood with a notch carved in the front of it. That's what we put our toggle to. It will hold everything in place when it's set. When the mouse comes and steps on this, it will lower this, release that toggle, and the fall will come down. Now the toggle wants to pull this trigger forward, so I tied a loop in the back of that. I'm going to put that around our post. That way it's anchored and secure, won't go anywhere. Now I like to put my bait in the middle of this trigger. That way the mouse's body is completely under the fall when it's set off and we get the desired result. So now I'll show you how to do the toggle. First we got to put the fall board on. Now this is the toggle that we use. It's just a flat piece of wood with a string tied to it. What we're going to do is anchor it up here on this cross piece. That way when this lifts up, it will sit under there like and hook into our trigger. That seems like about the right height, so let's tie this off here. The string is now secure, so we're ready to set the trap. To do that, you lift up the fall, you put the toggle underneath the front end, you get it just right. Now the bottom of this wants to kick out. To prevent that, we put the hook there on the trigger system. You gotta get the balance just right. It's very sensitive. The mouse will go under here to get the bait, step on that, release it, comes down on them, and you got the mouse. I'll show you this from a different angle so you can get a better idea of how it works. Just lift up the fall, put the toggle underneath there, put the bottom on the hook, get the balance just right. It's very sensitive, it'll work for mice. And there, now the mice come under, and you got them. Now let's go set this up and test it with wild mice. Last night I set up this old style Finnish deadfall mouse trap in my garage. We put the bait right in the middle on that trigger stick. Mouse came along, stepped on that. It's very sensitive. The top weight came down and we got him. To take the mouse out, you just lift this up, pull him out, It works really well. It's an easy trap to build with hand tools. It's been used for hundreds of years in farmhouses in Europe, and it's something you might want to try. Now, a few of the mice have moved from my garage into my house. They were eating food out of our pantry, so I set this up, and it was kind of funny. At 2 a.m. it went off, and it woke me and my wife up. It was a loud noise, and we jumped out of bed. So it does work. I wouldn't recommend it for inside the house use unless you want to wake up in the middle of the night, but it works really well. So check out the blog post where I saw this. I'll put the link in the description below, and you can get a sneak preview at next week's trap.